Dear learners, this is the unit number one of the blocks one, that is the nature of the society. I am going to discuss today about the nature of the society. That means the nature of the society is a complex and multi-dimensional in involving various structural institutions and process that shapes human lives. Society refers to a group of individuals who share a common cultures, interact with one another, and are bound by social relationship and institutions. To explore its nature in detail, it is essential to understand several key aspects. Definitions of society. At once, at its core, society can be understood as a system of organized interactions among individuals. It is social structures that emerge from the need for cooperation, interdependence, and collective livings. Society is not a mere aggregation of individuals, but a complex system of relationships, institutions, norms, and values. Components of the society. When we're talking about the component of the society, society consists of several interrelated components that work together to maintain social orders. Like the individuals, basic units of the society, individuals' behaviors and actions are shaped by social norms, value, and rules. Social institutions like the structural systems of rule and norms that fulfill the fundamental needs in the society. Major institutions include family, education, religions, and economics, and governments, cultures, the shared beliefs, customs, practice, and materials objects of a society. Culture shapes individuals' worldview and behaviors. Social groups of peoples who interact regularly and share a sense of identity. These groups can range from small units like family to large collectives like ethnic groups or nations. Social status and role. A status refer to the positions an individual occupy within the society, while roles are the behaviors and expectations associated with the status. Next is the characteristics of the society. First of the characteristics of the society, that is the interdependence. Member of a society are interdependent, relying on each other for the fulfillment of basic needs such as foods, shelter, security, and socializations. Second is like the organization. Society is organized in a way that ensure the smooth functionings of its institutions and system. These organizations manifest through the law, traditions, customs, and power structures. Dynamic natures. Society is not static, it evolves over the times as a result of changes in technology, economic, and value. For example, industrializations and globalizations have transformed society worldwide. Social control. To maintain order, society use mechanisms of social control such as law, education, religions, and sanctions. These controls help regulate behaviors and ensure conformity to the social norms. Shared identity and common interest. Society tends to form around common interest, shared history, language, and cultures, creating a sense of collective identity. Another thing that is the functions of the society. When we're talking about the functions, one of the important functions that is socializations. One of the most ethical functions of the society is to socialize individuals, teaching them the norms, value, practice necessary to function as a members. Integrations and cooperation. Society encourage collaborations and cooperations among individuals to achieve collective goals. This promote stability and cohesiveness. Social orders. Through the law, custom, institutions, society provides a framework for resolving the conflicts and maintaining peace. Economics and maternal support. Society organize productions, distributions, and consumptions of goods and services which ensure the survivals and well-being of its members. Now come to the types of the society. Hunting and gathering society. The earliest form of the society based of the subsistence through the hunting animals and gathering plants. Such society are typically small, nomadics and egalitarians. Second society, that is called the agrarian society. With the events of agriculture, society becomes more settles, leading to larger populations, surplus productions, and the rise of social hierarchy. Next is that is industrial society. The industrial revolutions gave rise to the society focused on the manufacturers and mass productions. This society tend to be more urbanized and rely heavily on the technology. And last one that is the post-industrial society, also known as information society. These are characterized to be the dominance of service sectors, information technology, and digital communications. These are the important types of the society. Now come to the social interactions and relationships. Social interactions, society is built on interactions between the individuals which are governed by norms, value, and expectations. Through these interactions, individuals form up social bonds and relationship. Social relationship, these can be formed like the employer-employee, teacher students and informals, friendship, family tie. Social relationships are key to the functionings of society and often influence individual social status and roles. Another kind of that is called the social stratifications, hierarchy and inequality. Most society are stratified into classes or other hierarchical structures based on factors such as wealth, power, educations, and occupations. This lead to the social inequality with different level of access to resources and opportunity, class, caste, and race. These are the system through the which society organize individuals into the hierarchical groups affecting their life changes and the opportunity. Now come to the change and the transformation, social change. Society is not just a statics, but continuously undergoes transformations due to internals and external factors. These changes can have been driven by the technological advancements, economic developments, cultural shifts, and social movements. Globalizations in the modern era society are increasingly interconnected, leading to the exchange of idea, goods, and cultural across national border. This has a profound effect on the societal structures and norms. Conflicts and cohesion, social conflicts, while society promote cohesion, conflict is also inherent in social life. Conflict can arise from the competing interests, power struggles, and inequality. Social movements groups that talks to address societal problems or inequality often meant to advocate for change. These movements can lead to significant societal reforms, revolutions, or shift in the public policy. Then we talk about the norms and value of the society. Here I am talking about the norms, that norms shared guidance or expectations or behavior within a society. These can be formals or informals. Core beliefs, ideals that a society holds dear, such as freedoms, equality, or justice. These values shapes individuals' behavior and societal goals. Conclusions. The nature of society is defined by its organizations of human relationship, culture, norms, and interacts, operates, and sometimes compete, guided by common goals and collective interest. Although society vary widely on their forms, they share common functions and structures aimed at ensuring the survival and well-being of their members. Society is both a product of human interactions and a frameworks that shape and that interactions, making its dynamics complex and over evolving. Now come to the modes of knowing. When we're talking about the modes of knowing, refer to the different way through the which human acquire knowledge, understands world, understanding the world, and make a sense of their experience. Knowing has its unique process, assumptions, and limitations. Different disciplines and traditions such as philosophy, science, art, and religions offer distinct modes of knowledge, each with a particular method of inquiry and criteria for the truth. First important mode of knowledge that is empirical knowing, knowledge through the experience. That means definitions. Empirical knowledge is a knowledge gained through the sensory experience, observations, and experimentals. It is the foundations of scientific knowledge, emphasizing evidence that can be observed, measured, and tested. Major important characteristics of the empirical knowledge that is based on the observations and the experience. Second things involving gathering data through the sense like the sight, hearing, touch, etc. often uses experimentals and replications to verify the findings. A strength of the empirical knowledge is high reliables for the understandings the physical world as it allows for the testings and falsifications. Limitations cannot fully address abstract concepts and phenomena that are not directly observed. For example, emotions, ethical value, metaphysical questions, etc. Example, scientific experiments like measuring the temperatures change or conducting clinical trials rely on the empirical knowledge. These are the called empirical knowledge, that is knowledge through the experience. Second important knowledge that is talking here about the rational knowings, your knowledge through the reasons. Definitions. Rational knowledge is obtained through the logical reasonings and deductions and without necessarily relying on the sensory experience. It is closely associated with the mathematics and philosophy. First important characteristics of the rational knowledge that it involves logical thinkings and the use of reasons to derive conclusions. Second, rely on the abstract principles, axioms, and premises. It is often deductive, meaning it start with general principles and apply them to a specific cases. Like the strength provides certainty and precision in area where logical structures like the mathematics dominates. It offer clarify and internal consistency. Limitations detect from the empirical reality. Rationality knowledge may be become too theoretical or abstract to apply to the real world situations. Next is that is the examples. Mathematical proofs like the proving the Pythagorean theorems are based on rational knowledge rather than empirical observations. Third important parts of the knowledge that is intuitive knowings, that is knowledge through the intuitions. Intuitions knowledge arises from the direct or immediate understanding or insights, often without the use of conscious reasonings or evidence. It is often described as a gut feelings or a sudden realizations. These realizations have some kind of the important characteristics like the instantaneously or non-linear, does not rely on empirical evidence and logical reasonings, often personal and subjective with insights coming from the within. A strength can lead to quick and creative problem solving, often when times or information is limited. Intuitions can be guide decisions in uncertain or complex situations. Limitations highly subjective and difficult to verify or explain. It can be influenced by the emotions, wiseness, or past experience. Examples. As a scientist have a sudden insight into the complex problems or chess players making a brilliance more without consistently analyzing or all possibility. Authoritative knowings. Authoritative knowings that knowledge from the activity definitions. Authoritative knowledge is acquired by relying on experts, traditions, or established authority. It is often accepted without direct evidence or personal verifications. Some important characteristics like rely on the trust in the credibility on expertise of a source common in educations where a student learn from the teachers, textbooks, or expert. Traditions and cultural norms also form a part of authoritative knowledge. A strength save times and effort by allowing individuals to rely on the expertise of others. It provides a structural way to acquire knowledge, especially in a specialized field. Limitations can lead to blind acceptance of information, even if the authority is wrong or outdated. It may be discourage critical thinkings or the questionings. Second important that is talking about the a medical student learning about the anatomy from the textbooks or religious believers accepting doctrines based on the sacred text or religious leaders. Next thing that is aesthetics knowledge, knowledge through the arts and the beauty, that is aesthetic knowings. Aesthetic knowing is the understandings of the world through the artistic expressions, beauty, and emotional experience. It encompasses both the creations and appreciations of arts, music, literatures, and other form of the creative expressions. Characteristics focused on emotional, sensory, and symbolic experience involve subjective interpretations and expressions, convey meaning through the form, styles, and symbolisms, often bypassing logics and reasons, a strength allowing for the deep emotional and experimental understandings of complex human experience, that is love, loss, and beauty. Aesthetic knowing can transcend cultural and linguistic boundary limitations, highly subjective and open to interpretations. What can one regions find meaningful or beautiful may not be resonative with the others. Examples: the experience of readings, poetry, or viewing a paintings can evoke profound emotional responses that communicate knowledge about the human conditions. Next is that is called the morals and ethical knowings, knowledge through the moral reasonings. And that is the moral knowledge is concerned with the what is right and what is wrong, just or unjust. It involves ethical reasonings and the applications of moral principles to the human actions and the decisions. Major characteristics involve the value judgment based on ethical theory, principles, and cultural norms, often requires balancing conflicts, values, and principles, guided by the concept of justice, duty, virtue, and rights. A strength of this moral and ethical knowing that is essential for making decisions in social, political, and personal context. It guides behaviors and establishes norms for the living in the society. Limitations, moral knowledge can be very vary between the cultures and individuals, leading to disagreements about what is right or just. Debates about the issue like the capital punishment, abortions, or environmental responsibility rely on morals and ethical reasonings. Next is that is relevantary and spiritual knowings, knowledge through the revelations and spiritual insights. Revelations knowledge is understand and knowing that comes from the divine or a spiritual source, often through the revelations, meditations, and mystical experience, like based on a spiritual and religious and mystical experience that may not be accessible through the other modes of knowledge, involves faith, beliefs, and transitory beyond empirical evidence or losing reasonings, can be deeply personal and transformative. A strengths provide meanings, purpose, and existential understandings. It can often comfort and guidance in dealing with the life mysterious and uncertainty. Limitations highly subjective and not universally verified. Revelation knowledge is often difficult to communicate to others or groups. Religious prophets claiming to receive message from a divine source or individuals finding a spiritual truth through the mediations and the prayers. Next is talking about the scientific knowing, knowledge through the scientific method. That means scientific knowledge is based on systematic observations, hypothesis testings, experimentations, and analysis. It seeks to uncover objective truth about the natural world and important characteristics that follow or a religious methods of inquiry, starting with the observations, forming hypotheses, conducting experiments, and analyzing data, involves the replications of results to ensure reliability, objective, and falsifies. A strength highly reliable for understanding natural phenomena, technological innovations, and meditations. It builds on cumulative evidence and is self-correcting limitations. Limited to observables and measurables phenomena, science cannot answer metaphysical or existential questions directly. Examples: the developments of vaccines through the scientific method is an example of scientific knowing based on controlled experimentals and data analysis. Next is that is socio-cultural knowings, knowledge through the social interactions and cultural context. Socio-cultural knowledge arises from the interactions within the social and cultural context. It recognizes that our understanding is shaped by language, traditions, norms, and social structures. Characteristics involves learning through the social interactions, collaborations, and cultural participations. Knowing is seen as socially constructed and culturally influenced. Knowledge that meaning is often context dependent, a strength, provides insight into the own knowledge is shaped by society, power dynamics, and cultural value and encourage diverse perspectives. Limitations knowledge can be related to a specific culture or a society, leading to potential biasness or cultural misunderstandings. Learning about social norms, customs, and value through the immersions in a particular community or the cultures and its mode of knowing in the last slide that is talking about conclusions. Each mode of knowing provides a unique pathway to understand the world and each has its own strengths and limitations. Some forms of knowing such as empiricals or rationals are emphasizing in scientific and academic context while others like the intuitive spirituals are more personal and subjective. An integrated approach, knowledging is the value of various modes of knowing allow for a more comprehensive understandings of complex human experience and the world around us. These are the important parts about the concluding remarks that is in the first slides. Thank you. Thank you for hearing these lectures. Thank you very much.